shop slash fish cave slash garage. Really excited. Just finally got the Monsterbass Strike King VIP bag in yesterday, and if you're not a subscriber to Monsterbass and you aren't signed up for the VIP program, you're missing out. Let's go through it real quick. But first, basically VIP is just text or email notifications of special deals that Rick and his team are giving out for subscribers. So, you know, extra boxes that they've got left over from previous months, bait bundles that they've got packaged. They send you a text, they send you a discount code, you put that in at checkout, and you save a bunch of money on baits. Monsterbass is pretty much the only way I buy baits at this point. I'm new to angling, so going to a Bass Pro or Walmart or Cabela's or whatever's around me, got a Turner's nearby, it becomes a little bit overwhelming, right? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just getting started in this whole thing. So going into a store like that, like, it's a lot of oohs and ahs, but ultimately I don't know, you know, what's a good brand, you know, what soft plastic is going to last, what soft plastic is garbage. You know, do I need crankbaits in this size? Do I need crankbaits at that size? Should I fish a spinner bait? Should I fish this? Should I fish that? When should I fish them? Thing I love about Monsterbass and why I am a loyal customer of theirs is that every month you get a bag. It used to be a box, but now it's a bag that is curated. Actually, I have one of those bags right here. So each month your baits are going to show up in a reusable bag just like this. You keep your soft plastics in, keep your baits in, whatever. I've used it a handful of times already and basically just shove everything when I'm going out in the tiny boat into here, all my soft plastics and stuff like that, throw that in here, bring one tackle box with hard baits, I'm good to go. You know, it makes it super convenient. But every month you get a bag curated by pros and YouTubers and anglers in your area that are for your time of year, for bass in the waters that you're likely to fish. You know, it's not some just generic mix that everyone across the country is going to get, and half the baits are going to be the wrong color, the wrong size, wrong design, wrong type for fishing where you're at when you're there. Monsterbass does things differently, and that's why I continue to subscribe and be a loyal customer of theirs. But without any further ado, let's get into this Strike King VIP package. So about a week ago, they sent out a code for Strike King VIP. It's 45% off of the listed value. They take all the values from Tackle Warehouse. I went on Tackle Warehouse, confirmed the prices that they list are accurate, right? So retail value on this is about $78. With the discount code and then tax and shipping for me in here in California, it ended up being $51, right? So still a pretty good savings, you know, $28 savings, $27 savings on a bunch of really good Strike King baits. And this thing is stacked. I mean, it is loaded with different baits. So let's get into it. I mean, first thing, for me, this is perfect, right? I'm just getting into owning bait casters, so having a nice small trial size spool of Strike King Tour fluorocarbon is perfect. It's enough for me to be able to spool up one of my bait casters without having to fill the entire spool up and then decide that the line just doesn't work for me, right? And you know it's going to be good quality stuff because it's made by Strike King, right? Strike King's not putting their name on anything that they think is trash. So that's the first thing you're going to get in there, some 15-pound, it's a 70-yard spool. So should be enough for, you know, I don't know, pitching, that sort of thing, pitching, flipping, you know, shorter distance Texas rigs, that sort of thing, right? This will start with the soft plastics, since that's probably what everyone's least excited about, right? Because everyone's got soft plastics. In the bag, you're going to get some Ned or some Ochos, full size. So these are the green pumpkin color. It's got the really unique kind of 8-sided body to it, which I found gives it really a different and unique action to like the rest of the Senko type baits out there. And then you're also going to get the Ned Ocho, which is same sort of shape with a Ned size. This is in the black and blue swirl. These work. I got these back in the Strike King takeover bag, or bag about, I don't know, it was a couple months back when Strike King did another takeover, and these things catch. I mean, perfect bait. They hold up well. I haven't had to replace one because it was torn up or anything like that from fish, but they catch fish. And then you got some Rage swimmers, you know, pretty common profile for, you know, little swim bait. These are the 3.75 and the Pearl Flash. So these are going to be great this time of year. Body water I'm fishing is a lot of golden shiner and small crappie. We've got some monster crappie in there too, but for bait fish, that's basically what the bass are feeding on, right? They're feeding on the small crappie and they're feeding on shiner. There's not, really isn't any bluegill in there. I mean, I think I've seen 2 bluegill pulled out of that lake ever. So if the bass are eating them, they're not eating a ton of them, because there's thousands and thousands of shiner and small crappie in that lake. Next up, we got nice red-eye shad, and that's in the green gizzard shad. It's got a nice kind of pearl to it. It's got that trademark, you know, red eye to the red-eye shad. This one looks like it's got the small BBs, so it's got kind of a higher pitched rattle to it. But good bait. These have been starting to work for me. I'm starting to kind of figure out the use of lipless crankbaits a little bit more, having a little bit more success with them. Next, you got the KVD 1.5. That's an awesome looking color. That is Phantom Watermelon Red Craw. So you got that kind of brown on the bottom there with that translucent red. Let me see that. 3 to 5 feet. That's going to be great right now. You know, springtime, fish are going after that kind of reddish crawl pattern, square bill. I think that's going to be perfect around here. Next, we've got a KVD flat side, also in that Phantom Watermelon Crawl. Now it's got a nice thin profile. You know, it's going to have a tighter wobble, I guess, is what they say with that. This one dives to 8 feet. I've got a similar, I've got this bait, I believe, in this green gizzard shad here. I've been kind of starting to throw it around. I'm pretty new to throwing crankbaits in general, but from what I hear, colder water, flat side, that's going to be your go-to, right? Water temperature is like 50 degrees right now, 55, so, you know, I think that's still fairly cold. It's definitely not 70, 75 like in Florida, so I'd say that's fairly cold water. Next, let's see, we got a 3XD 10 to 12 foot, and that's in the Summer Sexy Shad. That's kind of different take. It's a little bit darker kind of back to it with that, you know, chartreuse blue kind of combo on it like a Sexy Shad would have. Really looking forward to throwing these. Don't have any deeper cranks. Most of the fish that I've been spotting on the Garmin out there on the boat have been in that kind of 10 to 12 foot range, so having some cranks that get down to that depth would be great. You know, finally try and get after them. Next, we got the Series 4 crankbait, a little bit bigger profile. That's green tomato. I get that like yellowish green kind of belly, that kind of bright tomato red with a black back, kind of crawl pattern. And this one says dice 5 to 8 feet. So again, you know, another crankbait for getting down into those, you know, those depths. Probably be better when they're starting to move up shallow on beds, which, looking at some of the local guys over there, sounds like they're starting to get a little bit shallower. And they're starting to pull them up, you know, as they're moving towards going on beds. Last crankbait that it came with was a 5XD. This is a 15 foot, and that's in that sexy shad. You know, blue back and that yellow chartreuse line through the middle there and the lateral line. Big old fat bill on that thing, so that thing should be pretty sweet. So, a little bit of a rattle to it. I think all of these have got a little bit of a rattle to them. You know, I guess extra vibration, extra sound. It's bouncing off those rocks, going to help bring those fish in from further distance. So that's pretty cool. I'll save that one for last there. The Swimming Sugar Buzz. So that is a like smaller profile buzz bait. It's got that like chartreuse with flash and white belly color to it, and that head swings freely. You can see that. It's kind of mounted on there on a separate ring, and so it kind of allows that head to move freely. I hear these have a really good action. I've heard a few different options as far as what to put on trailers. Some people use like a swim bait trailer. Some people are using like a rage toad kind of deal, and a ditch in the skirt. So I've never caught a fish on a buzz bait. I'm really looking forward to throwing one of those around this year. So topwater season should be kicking up here in the next, I don't know, month or so. So that should be pretty fun. Last thing in the box is this bait here, and this is the bane of my existence. I love them. I think they've got awesome action. I've had some pretty decent luck when you know, people are telling me like, yeah, you should try a chatterbait here. I've thrown a chatterbait and they work well. This is the Strike King Thunder Cricket. This is like their top of the line vibrating jig, and they retail for something like $15. I have lost every single one of the Thunder Crickets that I've gotten in a Monsterbass box. Some have been from really crappy knots when I was really new. The last one most recently was I swung on what was, I felt a fish, and I'm thinking it must have been more like a log or a rock, and I got wedged in real tight and wasn't on the boat. I was fishing from the bank that day, and so I ended up breaking it off. Could not get it dislodged to save my life. So I'm down to no Thunder Crickets. So this replaces my Thunder Crickets that are now all missing. Oddly enough, the Z-Man chatterbaits that have come in the box, I still have both of those that I've gotten. So it's clearly me and the Thunder Cricket just not getting along. This is the green pumpkin, half-ounce size, so exactly the same size I throw, in the same color I throw in the Thunder Cricket. You know, Thunder Cricket and I just don't get along. But, you know, there you have it. You got all these baits. So you've got your net ochos, you got the ochos, you got the rage swimmers, you got the sugar buzz, you got the red eye shad, you got the KVD 1.5 square bill, you got the KVD 1.5 flat side, you got the KVD Series 4, you got the KVD 3XD, you got the KVD 5XD, you got the KVD Thunder Cricket, and you've got that KVD, or excuse me, Strike King Tour Grade 15-pound float. All that to your door for $50. Not a bad deal at all. Like I said, I priced all these things on Tackle Warehouse just like they did, and you're looking at $78, and I'm looking at $78 plus tax in California, plus You know, a few bucks for shipping. I mean, can't beat that deal. This is the first unboxing video I've done. Let me know in the comments below how I did. I'm really trying to get this channel started and would love to hear some feedback from you all on what I could do better, what I did all right, what you'd like to see me unbox. You know, I'm new to fishing, like I said, only been doing it for about a year with my daughter, and you know, we're having a blast getting out there catching fish. Just started tying crappie jigs on our own because we thought, like, that looks like a fun kind of rainy day hobby to do. Like when we can't get out and fish or something on the weekends, you know, we can sit there at the table and we can make our own little crappie jigs. It seems pretty inexpensive, so we just started doing that. We're having a lot of fun doing that and catching fish on them, which is even better. But we're both new to this whole thing, right? You know, she's 7 years old, and so I'm having to teach her everything based on what I learned from everyone out there in the YouTube community and on Instagram and everything. Shout out to a couple of my favorite content creators, Alex Rudd Fishing, Burley Fishing, Debo's Fishing. You guys out there, your videos and your unboxings and your content have kind of stuck with me this entire time as I've taken this journey of learning how to fish and becoming a sport angler. And you know, without, I think, your guys' knowledge and sharing your experiences, I don't know that I would have kept the passion to keep on getting better, and I think I might have gotten frustrated and burned out. And so thank you guys for doing what you do, create the content that keeps me motivated, and see y'all later.